Go to overcomecompulsivehoarding.co.uk/online therapy to get 20% off your first month of cognitive behavioural therapy, with weekly sessions online with a therapist, in addition to worksheets, a journal, meditation and yoga videos, and unlimited messaging. There's strong evidence that CBT can help people who hoard, and accessing therapy online can be affordable and accessible. Find out more and get your discount at overcomecompulsivehoarding.co.uk/online therapy.
Normally, being a little extra might be a bit much, but not when it comes to healthcare. That's why United Healthcare's Health Protector Guard fixed indemnity insurance plans, underwritten by Golden Rule Insurance Company, supplement your primary plan so you manage out-of-pocket costs. Learn more at uh1.com.
Hey, Dave.
Yeah, Randy.
Since we founded Bombas, we've always said our socks, underwear, and T-shirts are super soft. Any new ideas?
Maybe sublimely soft.
Or disgustingly cozy.
Wait, what?
I got it. Bombas. Absurdly comfortable essentials for yourself
and for those facing homelessness.
Because one purchased equals one donated.
Wow, did we just write an ad?
Yes.
Bombas. Big comfort for everyone. Go to bombas.com/ACAST and use code ACAST for 20% off your first purchase.
Think of all the sleep hacks you've ever heard. You could spend years trying them all, or you could instantly transform your sleep with Boll & Branch. They make the softest, most breathable bedding you'll ever feel. And it's all 20% off. That's their best sale of the entire season. Millions of sleepers love their buttery soft sheets, airy blankets, cloud-like duvets, and so much more. And you can try all of them for 20% off with promo code BUTTERY20. So hurry to bollandbranch.com today. That's BOLL and branch.com. See site for details.
Welcome to the Overcome Compulsive Hoarding with That Hoarder podcast. I am drowning in stuff and trying to find a way out. Listen as I explore the issues and delve deep as somebody profoundly affected by hoarding disorder. Find out more, including links to subscribe to the podcast, at overcomecompulsivehoarding.co.uk, and follow me on Twitter at That Hoarder and on Facebook at facebook.com/That Hoarder. So I want to talk today about a revelation I had. Now, if you're listening to this and you're not a hoarder, or if you're listening to this and you are a hoarder, but you think differently, this might be a confusing one to understand, but for me, it was quite a revelation. And the context is that in my bedroom, in my living room, the places I spend the most time, I feel like I have to have everything within reach. I need to be able to reach everything I might feasibly possibly need. And because of that, wherever I sit, especially wherever I sit regularly, there is a build-up of stuff all around those spaces, all around that chair, that bed, whatever. Because I have to be able to reach my arts and crafts stuff. I have to be able to reach my books. I have to be able to reach my birthday card stash if it's somebody's birthday. Everything has to be within reach. And there's a couple of things I've realised that have made me challenge that in a really helpful way. One is that I've realised I'm afraid that if something is not in sight, I will forget about it. So if there's a bill I need to pay, or a phone call I need to make, or something like that, that I need to keep the letter within reach so I don't forget to pay the bill or make the call. The second thing I realised is that if my house wasn't hoarded, I wouldn't have to have everything within reach, because I would be able to easily walk across the room and get things. So if there's a book I want to read that's on the bookshelf at the far end of the room, then in a non-hoarded house, I would just walk across the room and get it. The reason I have to have everything within reach now is because if it's not within reach, then it's over or behind piles that make it really difficult to access. And so actually, keeping everything within reach is a temporary issue because as I hopefully continue to dehoard, I will have more space to move around, and I will be able to get medication from across the room or from a different room. I will be able to get the book when I want to read it, but not have it in my immediate space when I don't. The thing about forgetting things also is actually solvable because I have quite an intricate regime of to-do lists. I have work to-do lists, I have personal to-do lists, and if I have a bill I need to pay, for instance, then rather than keeping the piece of paper within reach, I can add it to my to-do list with all the relevant information, the bank details of the company or the web address I need to go to pay. And when I have that in my regular to-do list space, I don't have to keep it in front of me in a bid to not forget it, but in what reality is just another piece of paper on a pile. So I started with some space around my bed yesterday, really trying to think honestly about what do I genuinely need to be within reach right now. And I decided my criteria should be, will I use this within 1 week? And if I would use it within 1 week, then I could keep it in the space immediately around the bed. And if I wasn't going to use it within 1 week, then it had to go in a bag or a box or somewhere that I could still access it, but it wouldn't be immediately available. And once I set this criteria, it was a lot easier to make those decisions. I think if I just had a generalized, am I going to use it soon, that wouldn't have been as effective. But giving myself a 1 week deadline was effective. Realistically, I'm not going to read all of these 5 books in the next week. Realistically, I'm not going to hand make that birthday card within a week. I don't need this stuff to be right beside me. And once I was able to start spreading things around, stuff that at this point I still feel I want to keep, there's still easing because that space immediately surrounding me was freed up a bit. There's still too much stuff. There's still, I'm nowhere close to finishing sorting it out. But I find having criteria for things like that really helpful because I don't have to make as many decisions if I've got clear delineations. So if you too are listening to this and realizing that you keep items very close to you physically for whatever reason, whether it's the same as me, which is a lack of space to do otherwise, and or feeling you'll forget about things if they're not immediately in front of you, have a think about whether there's any criteria you could apply that would take the pressure off you, make decision making easier, and help you to move things around a bit and make the space around your favourite chair or your bed or your sofa that bit less intimidating. In just 1 second, I'll give you my top tip of the week. In the meantime, please do subscribe to the podcast, review it, 5 stars would be amazing, and share it with your friends or anyone who might be interested or who might benefit from it. It all really helps. To find out more ways to support the website, the podcast, and my overall dehoarding project, go to overcomecompulsivehoarding.co.uk/support. Now back to your top tip. My top tip this week is use technology to get yourself going. Set your Alexa or Google Home or Siri or whatever your smart personal assistant of choice is to start playing energetic music at a particular time of day as a way to get you energized and to prompt you to do some tidying up. There are lots of playlists on Spotify called things like housework hits or songs to play while tidying the house. And they are full of fabulous 80s pop and things that you can't help but get moving to. And if you want to tidy for half an hour at 6 o'clock every day, then you tell your gadget to start playing whatever gets you moving at 6 o'clock every day. It's your prompt, and it might just help you to get going. Okay, thank you for listening, and I'll see you next time. Thank you for listening to the Overcome Compulsive Hoarding podcast. You can find more online at overcomecompulsivehoarding.co.uk. You can find me on Twitter at @thathoarder and on Facebook at Overcome Compulsive Hoarding with That Hoarder. To find out more about how you can support this podcast and the overall project, go to overcomecompulsivehoarding.co.uk/support, and do subscribe to this podcast so you make sure you don't miss any future episodes.
$1-800-Flowers.com is more than your birthday, anniversary, or just because gift-giving destination. We put our hearts into everything we do to help you celebrate all life's special occasions with friends and family. From our farmers and bakers, florists and makers, everything from 1-800-Flowers is made with love every step of the way, because we know that nothing is more important than delivering a smile. To learn more, visit 1-800-Flowers.com/ACAST. That's 1-800-Flowers.com/ACAST.